Lesson 11 for March 6 to 12, Waging Love, read by Percy Harrold. Tuesday, March 9, Fast Friends. Question: what is the fast referred to in Isaiah 58 and verse 3? Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen? Why have we afflicted our souls, and you take no notice? In fact, in the day of your fast you find pleasure, and exploit all your labourers. This must be the fast of the Day of Atonement, the only fast commanded by God. In Leviticus 16:29 and 31 we read, "This shall be a statute forever for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls, and do no work at all, whether a native of your own country or a stranger who dwells among you. It is a Sabbath of solemn rest for you, and you shall afflict your souls. It is a statute forever." And Leviticus 23, verses 27 to 32. "Also the 10th day of this 7th month shall be the Day of Atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you. You shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire to the Lord. And you shall do no work on that same day, for it is the Day of Atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. For any person who is not afflicted in soul on that same day shall be cut off from his people. And any person who does any work on that same day, that person I will destroy from among his people. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict your souls. On the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening to evening, you shall celebrate your Sabbath." This is confirmed in Isaiah 58 verse 3 by the parallel expression, "humble yourselves," which follows the terminology of Leviticus. Humbling or afflicting oneself referred to various forms of self-denial, including fasting. As we compare with Psalm 35 and verse 13, "But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer would return to my own heart." And Daniel 10 verses 2 and 3, "In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant food, no meat or wine came into my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled." And verse 12 in Daniel chapter 10, "Then he said to me, Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words." The Day of Atonement setting explains God's command to lift up your voice like a trumpet in Isaiah 58 verse 1. This kind of ram's horn trumpet, called a shofar, was to be blown as a memorial or reminder 10 days before the Day of Atonement, as we read in Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 24. "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Sabbath rest, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation." Furthermore, every 50th year, on the Day of Atonement, it was to announce the beginning of the Jubilee year of freedom, as we read in Leviticus chapter 25, verses 9 and 10. "Then you shall cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the Day of Atonement you shall make the trumpet to sound throughout all your land. And you shall consecrate the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you, and each of you shall return to his possession, and each of you shall return to his family." And we'll compare that with Isaiah 27:13. "So it shall be in that day, the great trumpet will be blown. They will come who are about to perish in the land of Assyria, and they who are outcasts in the land of Egypt, and shall worship the Lord in the holy mount at Jerusalem." Question: read Isaiah 58, 3-7. What is the Lord complaining to them about? What was wrong with their fast. Isaiah 58, beginning at verse 3. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen? Why have we afflicted our souls, and you take no notice? In fact, in the day of your fast you find pleasure and exploit all your labourers. Indeed, you fast for strife and debate, and to strike with the fist of wickedness. You will not fast as you do this day, to make your voice heard on high. Is it a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head like a bulrush, and to spread out sackcloth and ashes? Would you call this a fast, and an acceptable day to the Lord? Is this not the fast that I have chosen? To loosen the bonds of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked, that you cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh? It seems the people were expecting the Lord to congratulate them for their piety. Of course, they had it all backward. Practicing self-denial on the Day of Atonement was to express their gratitude and loyalty to him on the day the high priest went before God to cleanse the sanctuary, and thereby cleanse them from sins for which they had already been forgiven, as is recorded in Leviticus 16 and Leviticus chapter 4. Their acts should have been done in thankfulness and gratitude to God who saved them in the day of judgment, not in order to get God's approval for their piety and devotion. After all, it was the sins of the people that had defiled God's sanctuary. It had to be cleansed with blood that was shed because of what they had done. And so to finish today, one of the crucial lessons that comes from these texts points to the difference between being merely religious and truly being a follower of Christ. How do we see the difference here? How do we as individuals face the same danger as the individuals presented here, which is believing that our religious rituals somehow show we are really following the Lord as he asks us to?
Hi there. Thanks for watching this video on the Advent-band Ministries YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new videos. So, until we meet him in the clouds, may God continue to bless you.
This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. It's supported by the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel Australia, and is rebroadcast by Christian Record Services and through podcasts at It Is Written in the United States, Hope Channel Germany, and through Apple iTunes and SoundCloud. Remember, God is always faithful.